They've already been, in the ghetto. They've already been in the slums, and they've figured out and paved their own path to attain success that you want. Why would you not want to learn from somebody like that? By really being so ignorant that you're broke ass thinks that you can know more than them or figure it out faster than them, then you wonder why you're broke. Then you wonder why you're stuck in your same place. What should a man's focus be throughout his 20s? So here's the thing, right? I remember being in 7th grade, well, I was like 12, 13 years old, and thinking like, I remember I was literally in the commons room of the grade that I was in, and I was just thinking, like, why am I even going to school? Like, I can literally go out and hunt the world and go out and gather right now. Like, I literally remember thinking that when I was a kid. Like, why am I learning these random-ass things that correlate with nothing of what I want to do within my future? And the reality of it is that we have massive capabilities, especially as men. And our main responsibility as men, especially when it comes down to our biology, but overall our responsibilities as men, is to go out, hunt, and gather. Be prosperous for us and our family, right? And what's vitally important is that we use our age to our advantage, right? And what tends to happen is that this is an issue that I always ran into high school, right, when I was growing up. So right now I'm 24. I'm turning 25 within this year in a couple months. But one issue that I always ran into throughout high school was that there was a lot of degeneracy even when I was younger. And everybody wanted to go out and party, everybody wanted to go out and drink, and everybody wanted to do dumb shit. And all I wanted to do was focusing on how to make money. And what you have to understand is that when you're young, you're very naive, right? Like when you're young, you only have, let's just say you're 16, 17, 18, or even my age, around 23, 24, and you haven't really worked on your purpose yet. You kind of only see life in your 20 years of your experience. Like sometimes a lot of men without the proper awareness, they don't understand that, hey, you're going to live like another 20, 30, 40, 50 years. You know what I mean? Like you're going to live like 2, 3, 4x what your current lifespan has already been. So therefore, you have to begin to project what you want to do for your future and begin to pave a way. And as an entrepreneur, what's very vital is that you have to take advantage of your time, because the saying goes that it takes 10,000 hours to master anything, right? Whether it's like basketball, sports, business, entrepreneurship, whatever it may be, whatever things that you have a true passion for, it's going to take you 10,000 hours to climb to the very top and become a master at that. So I don't even know how many 10,000 hours is, but it's probably plenty of years, right? And that's working on it. We're talking about hours of work. We're not talking about, like, that's not including sleep. That's not including you going to the bathroom, taking a shit. That's not including you eating. We're talking about literally 10,000 hours of direct clock-in work. And I'm not saying get a job. Job is just over broke. That's not what I'm saying. But my point is that the time that you put in, it takes a long time to become a master at what you want. So what's very vital is that you sit down with yourself and you ask yourself, what do I want to do with my life? And here's a key question, golden question. If I can have it any way I wanted, if I could have it any way I wanted, what would I want my life to live? If I have absolutely no limitations and I could have it any way I wanted, how would I want my life to look? And you write that down, right? And what's very vital is that you get a very crystal clear picture and understanding of what you want, because from that point on, you can backtrace. And also what you have to understand as well is that we have this thing called the subconscious mind. I had just posted another video talking about it a little bit more on the Red Pill video. So if you want to go and watch that, go ahead and watch that, and you can see what I talked about in regards to subconscious mind. And maybe I'll make another video. If you want me to, let me know in the comment section. But what's extremely important is that you have to understand the thoughts that you planted into your subconscious mind are like seeds. So by picking out exactly what you want and figuring it out and getting a solid, crystal clear picture of what you want, you're planting a massive seed with rich soil that will equate to you actually achieving that thing. Now, what's important to understand is that your life you're currently living is a total reflection of your dominant thoughts and your current actions, right? Like, you have to understand that literally the position that you are in your life right now is because of all the actions that you've taken and all the thoughts that you've had. So to get to somewhere where you've never been, you have to begin to do things that you've never done. And that all starts within your thoughts and your beliefs, right? So, but now here's the thing, and you can study this in depth. You have to understand that every single successful person always talks about how the subconscious mind works, always talks about overcoming limiting beliefs, always talks about, coming from hardship and rags to riches. And those are the best fucking people to study, because especially if you have nobody within your life that has attained any success, financial success, business success, that nobody in your family is making six figures, Well, you have to begin to revolve yourself around people who are doing that. Begin to revolve yourself around people who are making six figures and have that mentality at the bare minimum to make six figures. Because there's something that they're thinking, there's something that they're doing that you're not. And you have to begin to figure out what that is and apply that to your own life and apply that to your own thoughts. And by time progresses, you continuously chip away at this, chip away at this, chip away at this. Then holy shit, you look into your bank account and you have six figures. But you have to understand these are all habitual things. But how do you know to overcome a problem if you don't even know you have a problem? So this is where it comes in higher awareness, right? You have to begin to seek this information out so you can kind of get more of a clear picture of what you want to do and how to actually attain it. And reading books is the best way that you can do that. There's a solid cornerstone book that you have to pick up called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I'll leave it down in the description below, but that's one of the books that massively changed my life. There's a shitload of other books. Like if you've seen my stories on Instagram and social media, I literally have a giant collection of books that I'm staring at right now. But it's very vital that you also read because you continuously expand your mind. And in particular with that book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he studied all the most successful people at the beginning of the 1900s, and you get to see he's interviewed all of them, right? A majority, we're talking about big people. We're talking about like massively wealthy people at the time, like top people, top known people. Now, we're not talking about somebody who just owns a couple stores. We're talking about extremely wealthy. And a lot of these guys also came from nothing, rags to riches. And you can see their direct mentality of how they got there. And then you literally just grab that and you apply it to your life. But what's important for you to understand is that these things take time. Like you have to, the quicker that you can come to these realizations, the quicker that you can get underneath a mentor, or the quicker that you can really put effort towards learning these things, the shorter your learning curve will be. Because everything that we're doing, especially if you have nobody within your family or nobody within your close proximity of doing what you want, you have to understand that there's going to be a longer learning curve. And a big, I would say a fucking cancerous ass thought that a lot of people have that I completely eradicated a long time ago, because one of the first mentors I got back in 2019, I learned that you have to invest into yourself. And I used to think like, have the mentality that, oh, you know, all the information's out on YouTube. Like I can learn anything I want on YouTube, which is 100% true. You can learn anything you want on YouTube. But the thing is that all that information is scattered. Then you go out and one person says one thing and then another person says another thing. And you're kind of like fully contradicting information. And you're like, dude, what the fuck do I do? And it kind of like, although it does give you a little bit of a step ahead, it still like leaves you scattered. There's no like clear blueprint or clear path on what you have to do to attain success. Now imagine finding a coach or finding a mentor who's directly walked down the path already, coming from where you've been. They've already been, you know, in the ghetto. They've already been in the fucking slums, and they've figured out and paved their own path to attain success that you want. Why would you not want to learn from somebody like that? Why? Like, by really being so ignorant that you're broke ass things that you can know more than them or figure it out faster than them, right? Or not even want to learn from them. Then you wonder why you're fucking broke. Then you wonder why you're stuck in your same fucking place. Like, dude, what are you fucking doing? Like, are you really that like dumb? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be like rash or whatever, but this is just the fucking truth. And in all reality, you have to break that impoverished mindset, because that's exactly why you've been stuck in the same fucking place that you've been stuck in. You have to realize that you have to invest into yourself. Like, I've literally paid $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 in lessons, $50,000, $60,000 in mentorship. I've flown out to different places throughout the country because I was deep into real estate. And I did a bunch of stuff before real estate as well, but to learn a lot of the information, I invested a lot of money in myself. I went through a lot of mentorship programs. I went through direct connection with mentors that I had. And also I learned through business experiences. I made like a business that I started back in August of 2022. It was a real estate business, and I paid about $35,000 total invest into that business, and it failed, right? But here's the thing is that failure is only a way of lessons that you're learning to attain the success that you're eventually going to get to. It's inevitable. As long as you're continuously being consistent and continuously knowing that you will attain success, and failure, you're not going to let failure stop you, then you're going to attain the success. It's just a matter of time, but you have to have the grit. You have to have the resilience. It's not going to be fucking cupcake easy, and you have to eradicate this mentality that any of this is going to be easy. There's no anybody who tells you that entrepreneurship is easy, anybody who tells you that, oh, just fucking buy my course and you're gonna be rich in 3 days, more than likely they're fucking lying to you and they're just saying that shit to make money from you. Now, obviously there's people who can genuinely shortcut your path, but this is why it's important that you see the person that's saying that, and number one, seeing if they have the lifestyle that you want, and number two, if you can really feel they're being authentic with you. That's the most important thing, because there's differences between influencers, in quotes, right, who truly have an authentic, deep purpose for helping people out, and there's people who are just doing it for money. Like, yeah, I learned these things and I'm just trying to help people out, but I'm just trying to help people out so I can make an extra bag. Versus those, it's like, oh, I need to fucking, like, dude, I've realized that literally there's people who need my fucking help. There's people who have gone through and are going through all the same things that I fucking went through, all the massive and trials and tribulations that I went through when I had nobody, and I can go into the deep stories about that, which eventually I will. But I remember being in those fucking deep-ass pits and always being like, man, I just wish I had somebody. And it was so difficult because I had nobody within my own life that could understand me. Like, my family were entrepreneurs, and all the uncles and aunts that I ever had that tried to do any entrepreneur venture all failed. Like, none of them really attained any admirable success. And not to be a dick, that's just the fucking truth. So my point in saying that is that as I'm going through these different, trials and tribulations, I always remember thinking like, dude, I wish I just had somebody close to me that can fucking understand what I'm going through, because sometimes you feel like you're fucking crazy because you're breaking all these generational curses. So of course everybody else, your family and everybody around you, your friends, aren't going to understand you because they themselves are stuck in the fucking bucket. They themselves are stuck in the trap. But this is why it's so vital that you get around a mentor who has the things that you want, who has attained the success that you want, because imagine this, right? You go through an entire jungle. Let's just say we're in fucking Vietnam, and the jungle in Vietnam is extremely thick. Like, guys were saying that they would be chopping away with a machete for like an hour, and they only got like 10 feet, right? Which is insane. So now imagine this, right? You can go out and you can do that. You can go in, and here's the thing. You can go and start chopping out random trees and chopping random bushes. It doesn't mean that's going to lead you down to the gold, the chest of gold. It doesn't mean that. You're going to have to you're going to go down 10 days down this way, chopping all kinds of thick-ass fucking bush, and you're going to realize, bro, I went the complete wrong way. Fuck. And you're going to have to backtrace all the way back and start all the way again. Versus finding a coach or a mentor who's already done the things that you fucking want, has already done all that. They've already fucking mapped out the entire jungle. They've already mapped out exactly where you need to fucking chop, what's the amount of force you need to fucking chop to get down to where the path is where the gold lies, right? So think about the massive shortcut that you can get, and it's not about a shortcut, but what the point is that it's about, number one, being able to break past your limiting beliefs, knowing that somebody else from your current position has gone through what you're currently going through and has attained success. And number two, you're able to massively cut down your learning curve. Like, dude, if you find a mentor, you can literally, multiple fucking things. Number one, you can literally massively shortcut your learning curve. Like, it can go from a 5-year, learning curve for you to learn particular lessons for you to get, to that next level. Or you can follow these mentors, and from that same 5-year experience, you can learn that in 6 months. Because not only do you have the lessons from your mentor, but you have the mentor literally guiding you. Like, oh, don't do that. Oh, I remember, dude, I remember when I was in your exact position, and I said the exact same things that you were saying, and I ended up going this way, and I fucked up, and it was wrong. So don't do that. Do this. No, don't do that. Do this. Don't do that. I was in your exact position. That's going to lead to failure. Don't do that. Versus you ignorantly thinking that you know it all, and la, 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 and doing these random things that fucking lead to failure. Then if you don't have a strong enough sense or strong enough purpose, you're going to continuously fail at these things. They're going to fully give up on entrepreneurship. Because the reality of it is that entrepreneurship and doing things that your family has never done is fucking massively difficult. So why would you not want to put these things in place that's gonna equate to you achieving success? Why? Why would you not want to do that? Unless you want to be fucking stupid and go through all of it yourself and continuously bang your head on the wall over and 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 over. But my point to this is that you have to remove your fucking ignorance. Like, you have to realize that, hey, everybody in my family's fucking broke. Like, dude, I should probably really, open up my ears and shut the fuck up and, really listen to what, these guys who are successful have to say. But the quicker that you can do this, the younger you can realize these things, the more efficiently you can attain the wealth and riches. Some people, bro, some people don't realize, and totally fine if this is you, dude, Like, it is what it is, bro. Like, you have to realize at your age, it is what it is. There's nothing that you can do about the past. You can only take the lessons and extract the lessons from the past and move forward. That's it. So whether you're fucking 35 or whether you're 20, your age doesn't fucking matter. But the quicker you can learn these lessons, the quicker you can attain that success more efficiently, right? So if you can understand this at 16, 18, 20, you can become successful, a millionaire by 25, 26, 27, right? And you have to understand it's going to take, dude, a bare minimum. We're talking about like extremely, extremely stupid fast and maybe potentially way too fast is 3 years. I've been an entrepreneur for almost 7 years now. So I've been, and that's kind of like when I started my first business. I was actually selling cookies when I was fucking in 5th grade. I was selling door knocking and selling candy in 7th grade when I was like 12, 13. And I used to sell iPhones and a bunch of different stuff, right? But like I started my first business as an automotive detailing business, mobile automotive detailing business when I was 18. And I've just been like a legitimate entrepreneur my majority of my life, but like legitimately since I was 18, right? And I'm continuously paving the path every single fucking day. So my point in saying this is that the quicker that you can realize this, the more efficiently you can actually attain your success. And know and understand that there's no short-term remedy. There's no short-term pill. And if you do end up like, let's just say like you strike success randomly and you make $1 million in 1 year and you're like 19, more than likely, dude, if you're not prepared for it and if you haven't gone through hardships and if you haven't gone through lessons that's truly taught you how to make that $1 million, you're going to lose it. So what's vitally important is that you literally build yourself up to the man who is able to make $1 million, who is able to make, let's just cut it back, $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year. And that should be your bare minimum strive. Bare minimum strive is 6 figures a year. Bare minimum, bare minimum, right? I didn't make that money until I was 22 and I got into real estate. But the quicker you can, once again, the quicker that you can understand this, the quicker that you can actually attain that success, right? And I'm still on my way. I'm still on my way to millions. I haven't hit $1 million yet, but I figured, you know what, motherfucker? I need to show, because it's, dude, I've gone through so many trials and tribulations that I figured, you know what? I know that there will be people who can learn from all my failures, who can extremely jumpstart their path to entrepreneurship. I guarantee you people who will listen to my content will make 6 figures much, much faster than I did. It took me a fucking, dude, long time, extreme dedication. But my point in all of this is that you have to understand that you're ignorant, especially at the very beginning. And once you can understand that, like in order to overcome a problem, you have to first admit there is a problem. And you have to be able to see yourself as you are and be willing and open-minded to learn. And it's very vitally important that you dedicate your earlier years to attaining massive success because you'll be able to enjoy your success at 30 years old. There's guys who've gone through their entire 20s not doing shit. There's guys who've gone through their entire 20s just chasing pleasures, just chasing pussy, just chasing things that literally correlate to no fucking return. And what is their life like at 30 years old when their testosterone begins to somewhat deplete, right? When their drive begins to deplete. Well, they're barely at fucking square one versus you, right? You start investing your time into when you're at a younger age, right? So by the time that you're 30 years old, you're already going to be balling. You're already going to be a fucking millionaire. And while all these other bums are out here trying to like get a job, while all these other bums are out here just barely starting the fucking path, you're already going to be massively fucking balling. You're already going to have a life of fulfillment and doing the things that you truly want to do. And you're going to already be at a massive echelon that a majority of people won't be able to fucking experience. But you have to dedicate yourself to this. And what I can tell you, and I'll wrap it up here, is that chasing short-term pleasures, chasing all the college parties, chasing all the parties when you're in fucking high school, does absolutely nothing for you. You get this fucking short-term fun, sure, get it out of your system, whatever you fucking have to do, but know and understand that those things literally do nothing for you and will always only leave you fucking empty. So the more that you can begin to actually get on your purpose, the more you can figure out what your true calling is in life, the more that you will be extremely fulfilled because you get to plant that brick every single day. And as time progresses, eventually those bricks comes into a foundation, then it turns into a fucking empire. But you only truly get fulfillment by meeting your highest potential and actually laying down that brick every single day, and all the depression, all the anxiety, all the worry fucking goes away. But I appreciate you guys. If you guys have any questions, be sure to ask it down in the comments. Let me know what you think of this particular video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.